You're exhausted. Not because life is hard, but because you've been trying to force what was never meant to be forced. You've been visualizing, affirming, hustling, praying harder. And still, something feels stuck. Like you're pushing a door that was always meant to be pulled. What if the quantum field doesn't respond to how hard you try? What if it responds to something else entirely, something most people never develop? Stay with me. This changes everything. Most people believe that if they just try harder, the universe will finally deliver. They write longer affirmations, visualize more intensely, and hustle through every waking hour, wondering why nothing shifts. This is the first and most devastating mistake in quantum field manifestation, confusing motion with alignment. And this is where most people unknowingly block their own reality, not through laziness, but through the wrong kind of effort. Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say force. He didn't say grind. The mental state he described was calm, settled conviction. That is the frequency the field responds to. Pay attention. The law of attraction explained properly is not about chasing. It's about becoming. When you understand that the quantum field operates on resonance, not effort, you stop running on a treadmill and start standing on solid ground. And that ground? It's called inner stability. Here's the version of quantum physics nobody teaches you in school. Every particle in the universe exists in a state of pure potential, all possibilities at once, until it is observed. The observer collapses those possibilities into a single reality. You are the observer of your own life. Read that again. You are the observer. And the quality of your observation is shaping your reality right now, whether you realize it or not. Dr. Joe Dispenza has spent decades proving that elevated emotions, gratitude, love, certainty, literally change the electromagnetic field your body broadcasts. This isn't poetry. This is measurable. When your energy alignment is chaotic, the field around you is chaotic. When it's coherent, when it's still, the field becomes a magnet. Einstein said, "The field is the sole governing agency of the particle." Not effort. Not force. The field. You are both the field and the particle. And the moment you learn to govern the field within you, through stillness, through manifestation mindset, you stop being a victim of circumstance and become a conscious creator. Most people are creating by default. You're about to start creating on purpose. Stop. Right now, ask yourself, am I trying to force the river to flow uphill? Long before quantum physics had language for it, ancient wisdom already encoded this principle. Psalm 46 verse 10 says, "Be still, and know that I am God." This is not passivity. This is a directive for conscious creation, a command to cease the internal noise and access the field of infinite intelligence underneath everything. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is the most aggressive spiritual act you can perform. Jesus demonstrated this in Mark 4 verse 39. When he calmed the storm, he didn't wrestle the wind. He spoke from absolute inner authority. That authority came not from effort, but from alignment. His power of stillness collapsed chaos into order, because the field responded to his state, not his struggle. Proverbs 4 verse 23 instructs, Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Your heart is your energetic broadcasting center. When it beats in fear and anxious striving, the quantum field amplifies that frequency and reflects it back. Spiritual awakening begins the moment you understand. The heart must not be forced, it must be stilled. Here's a truth that will sting a little, but stay with it. Desperation is the single most effective way to repel what you want. Why? Because desperation is the energetic declaration that what you desire does not yet exist in your experience. And the field, like a perfect echo chamber, confirms that absence right back to you. You cannot receive abundance from a frequency of scarcity. The math simply doesn't work. Think about the last time you urgently needed to attract something, a client, a relationship, a sum of money. What was the texture of your energy? Tight. Contracted. Scanning. That is low-frequency static. And the law of attraction explained at its core is this: you attract the essence of what you are, not what you want. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. When you raise your vibration, you're not doing a spiritual performance. You're reorganizing the electromagnetic signature you broadcast into the quantum field. The shift from desperation to stability is not just emotional, it's physical. A measurable change in your body's electrical output. And the field notices instantly. What if the thing you've been begging for has been trying to reach you, and your anxiety keeps hanging up the call? The HeartMath Institute documented something that stopped researchers in their tracks. When a human being enters a state of heart coherence, calm, rhythmic, stable emotional equilibrium, their heart's electromagnetic field expands up to 3 feet outside the body. It influences not only their own biology, but the people and environment around them. Your inner state is not private. It's a broadcast. And everyone and everything in your field is receiving it. This is why 2 people can want the same thing with equal intensity, and one manifests it while the other spirals. It's not about the wanting. It's about the being. The person who manifests is not trying harder, they are residing at a frequency where the desired outcome is a natural extension of who they are. That is effortless manifestation. Not lazy. Precise. Look at the oak tree. Does it strain to grow? Does it anxiously check whether the sun will rise? It grows from its nature, consistently, quietly, powerfully. That is the model of quantum field manifestation your life is calling you toward. Consistency of inner state. Rootedness. The kind of presence that doesn't beg the field, it commands it, through the authority of absolute stillness. So how do you build this stability in a world designed to keep you reactive? Here's a 21-day practice that will rewire your nervous system and recalibrate your energy alignment from the ground up. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you speak a single word, spend 5 minutes in the stability anchor. Sit upright. Hand on your chest. Breathe slowly, 4 counts in, 6 counts out. Hold in your mind not the thing you want, but the feeling of already having it. Don't visualize the house or the money. Feel the freedom. Feel the expansion. Feel the peace. You're not pretending. You're rehearsing. And the quantum field responds to rehearsed states as if they are already real, because to the field, they are. After 5 minutes, say this aloud: I am stable. I am aligned. What is mine comes to me. Romans 12 verse 2 says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This exercise is that transformation made daily and practical. Repetition of this practice is how you raise your vibration permanently, not in peaks and valleys, but as a sustained, unshakable frequency. Pause. Breathe. The most powerful thing you can do right now costs nothing and requires no hustle. It only requires your decision. Carl Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Let that land. Your manifestation mindset is not primarily about what you consciously affirm. It's about the deep, invisible narrative running underneath everything, the story about whether you deserve what you want, whether it's safe to have it, whether people like you get to live that way. That underground story is louder than your vision board. It's older than your goals. And it's broadcasting 24 hours a day. Every time you sit down to manifest while those stories run unchallenged, you press the accelerator and the brake simultaneously. You wonder why you're not moving. The field isn't broken. It's just being perfectly faithful to your dominant signal, not your desired signal. This is where spiritual awakening gets practical. Not crystals, not chanting, though those are fine. It's about sitting down, honestly, and asking, what do I actually believe about myself? Because until you surface those inherited beliefs and dissolve them, your conscious creation is working against an invisible ceiling. And the quantum field will honor that ceiling with absolute precision. The ceiling isn't out there. It's in here. And that's actually the best news, because you can change what's in here. The path to effortless manifestation is not effort in the outer world, it's precision work in the inner world. Think of it like tuning a radio. The station you want, abundance, love, health, is already broadcasting. It has always been broadcasting. The question is whether your receiver is clean enough to pick up the signal. The signal was never the problem. The static was. Here's the release and replace method. When a limiting belief surfaces, you'll know it because it feels like tightening, contraction, familiar heaviness. You don't fight it. You acknowledge it. I see you. You were trying to protect me. But I no longer need this. Then you consciously replace it with the expanded truth. Not a lie, a larger reality. Philippians 4 verse 7 speaks of the peace of God, which transcends all understanding. That peace is not a reward for solving all your problems. It is a choice of frequency, available right now, in the middle of the mess. When you choose peace before the evidence appears, you unlock the power of stillness that reorganizes the evidence. This is what every master across every tradition has taught. The outer world shifts when the inner world settles. You've been trying to solve an energetic problem with logical effort. That's like trying to tune a guitar with a hammer. Viktor Frankl was imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps, stripped of everything external. And inside that horror, he discovered something the field confirmed completely. No one could take from him the freedom to choose his inner state. From that radical inner stability, he emerged to build an entire school of psychology, write a book read by millions, and live a life of profound meaning. He did not manifest from effort. He manifested from rootedness. If Viktor Frankl could access stability from inside a concentration camp, what's your excuse for surrendering yours to a bad Monday? Consider the business owner who spent 3 years forcing deals, barely sleeping, burning through relationships, until a mentor said, "Stop for 30 days. Rest. Stabilize. Work on energy alignment instead of activity." In those 30 days, the business generated more revenue than the entire previous year. Not because they stopped caring, but because they stopped broadcasting scarcity. The field responded to the new signal. These are not coincidences. These are demonstrations of quantum field manifestation operating exactly as designed. The field is not impressed by your hustle. It responds, with mathematical precision, to the frequency you hold consistently. Not the frequency you spike in meditation and lose in traffic. The sustained, practiced, anchored frequency of a person who has decided, at the deepest level, I am stable. Here is where everything collapses into one point. Manifestation is not something you do. It is something you become. And becoming requires a decision, not a hope, not a wish, a decision to operate from stability regardless of what your current circumstances suggest. The circumstances are not the signal. You are the signal. Stop letting the circumstances override the broadcast. The world will keep offering you reasons to be anxious. The news will keep broadcasting reasons to contract. People around you will keep modeling desperation and calling it ambition. Your job, your sacred, intentional, non-negotiable job, is to hold a different frequency. To say, the evidence has not yet appeared, but I know who I am, and I know what is coming. Isaiah 40 verse 31 says, "Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, they will run and not grow weary." That is the promise of aligned momentum. Not forced flight, soaring. This is what raise your vibration means at its fullest expression, not a temporary high, but a permanent shift in identity. The quantum field has been waiting for this version of you. Stop making it wait. The quantum field doesn't reward the loudest prayer. It rewards the quietest certainty. So here's your invitation. Not your assignment. Your invitation. For the next 21 days, make inner stability your only job. Not manifesting harder. Not visualizing more. Not writing new lists. Just stability. 5 minutes every morning in a stability anchor. One honest look at the stories you carry. One daily choice of peace, before the evidence arrives. The law of attraction explained in its simplest, truest form is this: the universe organizes itself around the frequency of the observer. You are the observer. You are the field. Napoleon Hill wrote, "The starting point of all achievement is desire. But the sustaining point, where desire becomes physical reality, is belief held in stillness." That is your power. That has always been your power. Now go be still and watch the world move toward you.